Ta-da! There we go. We are live. No intro, no nothing. Straight into it, just to catch you off guard.
Hey, you know what? Perfectly fine. I had myself muted so they couldn't hear me over here going dee 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 dee.
I must admit, some of it. It's interesting because both me and you have been, prolific live streamers as such. Now we've been doing this a long time, and it's weird that one of the joys of live is it's still anything can happen at any point, which is makes it interesting.
Yeah, my one camera, there was something going on. It just kept turning off. So I'm like, oh, this is the perfect day for that camera to just keep turning. So I actually, I took it out of the USB port that it was in, and I put it in an actual USB port.
There we go. Also, we've just got Sean that's joined us on TikTok as well.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I've just installed some new software which enables me to have multiple cameras that can flick between them all and this, that, and other, which is great. But what now happens is I go live and it just freezes, which is why I'm upstairs rather than downstairs in the studio.
Yeah, I don't have new software, but I'm able on the one site that I'm using to add the camera for different angles. So if I just want to okay, put that in there, show that, take it off, I can do that. And that's kind of cool. I didn't want to get too techie on it because, there's already, I know you've seen the new setup. I sent you pictures of the new thing here, the way I got it set up, and it's just such a great flow. I can't believe the room I have just moving the monitors like I did.
Yeah.
For those people watching, I've moved the monitors off the desk and they're directly in front of me right now. So works really, really well. But
it's weird because I've gone through like phases of stuff. And now I'm like, I used to make my studio bigger and bigger and bigger. And like downstairs, I've got it's now a proper studio. It's massive. But now I'm like, now I just want to use these and a phone and want to make it smaller and smaller and smaller so I can transport it everywhere. So yeah. I don't know. It's like I don't think you ever get finished with where you're going.
No, I know that I had that huge studio for years. But that was because people were coming over and then recording music and everything with Firemind. Now I'm in the studio in my house, and it's smaller, but I would say more proper per se to get stuff done. And this is the first I want to say thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, Haley Adams as well on TikTok. Haley, awesome. Hopefully you had a great new year. Loving your TikTok stuff and loving your London kind of hypnosis stuff as well. That is really cool. It would have been great to see you in Vegas, where we've got street hypnosis, performance hypnosis. We've got all sorts of cool stuff there as well. I know I believe Jason Simmons is coming over from the UK, so we've got some UK guys coming over. So that'll be cool as well. So what first got you into hypnosis, Dan?
Oh, yeah, I will tell that story. I know I've told it to you, but I will tell it again. Right around 2012, I was about 42 years old, and I was getting to that point where running firefighting and EMS full-time as I was starting to wear out. And I thought, well, what do I want to do now? Well, I don't want to go into nursing because they stand all day. It's like, that is way too much work. And it just happened. Hey, there's Paulette. It just happened. There was a course that was going to happen at Kirkland Community College, and it was for what's referred to as a limited licensed counselor, and they're all over the place. So I went over and I signed up for it, and they said, the advisor said, okay, go take this course in hypnotherapy. You will use it in your office. It'll be a great adjunct. So I went over $1,600. It was about a 10-month course, because they said, we won't get rolling on this for a while. It'll be, a bit. But I got all done with that, came back, and they said, well, we didn't get enough people enrolled in the course, so we're not going to do it. And I was mad. I'm like, I just spent $1,600 on this because you told me you're going to get college credits and da-da-da-da-da. So that's how I got into clinical hypnotherapy, was actually to do something else. But hindsight being 2020, did not know that hypnotherapy was going to take me all over the world, from, Las Vegas to Ireland to England to, all the places that I've been to. So worked out.
Yeah, I think everybody should learn hypnosis. It's one of those. It's such a powerful tool. Whether you are a stage hypnotist, which is, you look at the spectrum. On one end, I believe, and I'm biased though, I think on one end of the spectrum of hypnosis is stage hypnosis. That's the most extreme you can go with hypnosis. And then as you come down the other way, you get kind of hypnotherapist, and then you get like an NLPer, and then you get a psychotherapist, and then you get a coach, and then you get like salespeople. And I think if you're dealing with people, then learning hypnosis is going to benefit you. Even worse than that, or better than that, if you're having to deal with yourself, like your own thoughts, then learning hypnosis is going to help with that. So why they don't teach it in schools, I have no idea.
Oh, I know. I've actually done some presentations in schools on hypnotherapy. Not as much as Michael Brody has done, because I know that he does that. So, but I've done that, and I've had schools that have had that and that interest. Like, can we teach it?
Yeah.
The stumbling block here in Michigan, or what I've noticed, is, well, they're not 18.
Yeah.
So yeah, it becomes a stumbling block. But I will just say that on the one side, I go the other way, because I did stage hypnosis. I performed it for 7 years. And ultimately I decided, it was just a decision, the pandemic made it for me. I'm going to stay on the therapeutic side, because that's where I started, and that's where I'm comfortable with, and that's what I'm good at. Stage hypnosis is hard. It's like, I've got like 10, 15 minutes in the office to, really get some. You walk out on the stage, it's like, okay, you got 5 minutes. They gotta like you, laugh. You got to get these people inducted, and on with the show. So it becomes confidence is what there's no one I'm worried about after that getting into a state of hypnosis. So I will just say that. Having done stage hypnosis, which is why I always say, if you're a therapist, go take a stage hypnosis class.
Yeah.
You don't have to do a show, but take a class. So yeah.
I also think the other way around as well.
If you're
a stage
and I will
artist,
say, I'm excited to be in
World Hypnosis Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think every
Sean's
stage
here.
hypnotist should take a hypnotherapy class, just so they have an understanding of that side. But every hypnotherapist should take a stage hypnosis class.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun.
What do you think, Sean?
No, I was actually going to agree with you. I honestly think that I'm better at helping people by employing some of the skills that I have learned on stage over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So
I'm just
and I know that I'm bothering Sean, as I said. Yeah.
By the way, Dan,
World
I'm steadily
Hypnotism.
going through your book. So.
I have been doing a lot of research lately on just for the project that I'm on, hypnotic suggestions and the science you see behind that. And as I'm reading it, I mean, you can just very easily, I can see, oh, that's stage hypnosis. Oh, that's also stage hypnosis, So it becomes a thing of, it's not, and I know there are hypnotherapists out there that say, oh, sorry, stage hypnotists, you're not real hypnotists. Well, no, that's not the case.
Yeah.
So
I think there's
I'm coming down on the side.
There's an element of I think there's a fear, and when people see something they don't know, or a technique that they don't quite understand, they kind of go, it's not right. And so with stage hypnosis, what a lot of people see is all of the drama of stage hypnosis, the theatre of stage hypnosis. A lot of hypnotherapists, and I'll be honest, a lot of hypnotherapists, there's a fear of actually hypnotizing them and making them do something. And so they kind of stay in that safe space. once they learn that element, it improves their hypnosis so much so. And it's not about ego. It's not about dropping someone into a trance in 2 seconds. It's about actually hypnotizing people, when it's meant to happen. And my beliefs are challenged sometimes. So again, on the tour I've just done, I saw another hypnotist, Corey J. And again, I saw his show, and it was very humbling for me to see another great hypnotist and kind of go, wow, that's different. And to see him go into what I would normally say a mid-show routine in his pre-talk, for me was like, I didn't think that was possible. And so again, that it changes you and challenges you to go. For me, I'd go, I'd normally do that would be, fourth routine in to challenge them. But to see someone do that as part of a pre-talk, I was like, wow. And so it helps you stretch and grow. So, and I think it's the same. A lot of hypnotherapists, they learn their stuff, and then they stay in this safety bubble because they don't want to challenge themselves.
Yeah. I was actually just thinking about that today as I was working on a project. And I think it was the Monday report. I was doing something for the Monday report, and I began to think about protocols. And when you go to a conference, and there's always the protocols. Like, you'll never need another thing. Every client, everything you do, you won't need anything else. And there are some really great protocols out there, and I will say that, really great techniques out there. But then it gets into the what do you have in your toolbox? Because if you just have the one protocol and you're trying to fit that to every client, it's not going to work out. But if you have like 4, 5, 6 in your toolbox, and you're able to fit the right technique to the right client, it's just, more successful. And that was one of the things the things that go through my head is just, I should probably learn hypnosis.
To play devil's advocate, though, I think a lot of hypnotherapists, I seem to be anti-hypnotherapist today. A lot of hypnotherapists, they've got all the tools in the toolbox, and the toolbox just keep getting bigger and bigger, and they've got more and more tools in there. And then a client comes in and goes, I want this to happen. And they spend so long rummaging through the toolbox trying to find the right tool, when sometimes just hit it with a hammer. And so there's got to be a balance of finding techniques that are effective.
Don't do anything.
But not hiding behind more courses and more techniques. Just one more course.
Yeah, and I think I was talking to Sean about this. It was actually, I was doing something, and what made me think about it was the all-important consultation. When the client comes in, you sit down, you do the consultation. So, yeah. And that's it. That's all I got on that.
It's amazing how much, and again, for me, when you understand stage hypnosis, you know that a lot of the change work can happen in the consultation. You can use direct suggestion on that intake form. You can do all the stuff that you need to do, just like we do as stage hypnotists. We have to jump through hoops. We have to grab their attention in that pre-talk. We've got to do it in a way that if we lose their attention, we've lost them. Once you know all those things, you go, right, how do I apply that to my therapy practice? What do I set up around my room, my stage, my lights, the music, the scents? What things can I do to enhance that?
I've always said that if the client comes in and I can make them laugh in the first 4 or 5 minutes, I mean, a really good laugh, something funny, that's just instant rapport right there. And it just puts them at ease and relaxes them. So, fortunately,
the other thing that Haley was pointing out, sorry, Dan, the other thing that Haley was pointing out is your own confidence as a hypnotist. If that doesn't show through, you're not going to build rapport. Yeah. And if you can still be funny beyond that, and you'll be funny, but when you're confident in your ability to help somebody, that goes a long way.
Yeah. I think Jonathan Chase used to talk about intent. And I think a lot of that is if you've got that intent in you and you know you're going to hypnotize them and you know you're going to help them, I think that's the most powerful tool you can have. Mm-hmm. I would love to get a non-hypnotist to hypnotize someone just from their intent. And I do believe that's very, very possible.
Yeah, I think so.
Kind of sounds like your first show, Dan.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. it does, really, yeah. Like, please just let me get out of here.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Like, who are you? Why are you here? Well, the manager hired me to come in and do a stage. Oh, well, they were fired. And we won't talk about my first show. It started on fire and got better.
That's the other thing that stage hypnosis teaches you, I believe. Because as a hypnotherapist, we can see a client in our consultation room and we could fluff the lines up. We can get it wrong. Stuff can happen. Only one other person knows. You do that on stage, everybody knows.
Yeah.
And so you learn to be fluid and to be flexible and to think on your feet. And so that spills out into the rest of your life, that when actually you think, you know what, whatever situation I'm faced with, I can deal with it. You know, I've done shows where everything that could possibly go wrong has gone wrong. And I mean, everything that could go wrong has gone wrong. But now, in most situations, I kind of have that mindset of, whatever happens will happen. It'll be fine. The Canada tour, the agent has said to me, on one of the things is going, you do mentalism as well, don't you, Glenn? And I've gone, absolutely not. No, I'm a hypnotist. Why would I do mentalism? I don't do any magic tricks whatsoever. He went, well, on Friday, you're booked to do an hour of mentalism first and then you show. But you know what? At first in my mindset, I was like, oh, no. And I've gone, do you know what? I don't normally do this, but do you know what? Let's give it a try. And gave it a try and absolutely loved it. But I loved it because I was petrified, because I was literally stepping myself out of my comfort zone and becoming a mentalist for the evening. And so that for me was a big challenge. But I also knew that, do you know what? Whatever happens, I'll be able to deal with it.
Yeah. I was terrified once at a stage hypnosis show. And I didn't realize until I heard you and Sean talking about it for the summit, I didn't know what I had done. Four-walling. So the Playhouse had gotten a hold of us. They needed a show. And they said, well, we don't have a lot of money, but we'll split the door if you can. So we printed up the tickets and we printed up the posters and we did all the advertising, got the radio stations, and I had all this stuff done. And I'm thinking, oh man, is anybody going to come? That was very nerve-wracking for me because it was all on us. It wasn't like a built-in show. You have an audience and they've helped you. We had to do it all. But we got there and it was me and Bentley, my sound engineer, and I walked in and there was nobody there. And all of a sudden we heard a lot of commotion. I walked out and I peeked my head out and I'm like, dude, what place is all full? And he goes, really? I'm like, you know what's creeping me out? He goes, that actually showed up. But I did not know that's what that was called, which is long. I dove feet first, so it was the only time I've done it, and yeah, I think I just got lucky.
I don't know if is that your internet it's twitching a little bit there, Dan, or is that my internet? Sean?
I think it might be yours because you keep reading on my end.
I don't know. Ask Sean. Sean can be the referee.
Dan's because he's twitching for me too.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a sentence you never thought you'd say, Sean.
And in this corner.
Well, be like.
Yeah. So, what brought you to hypnosis, Sean?
I was the quintessential geeky kid that really kind of kept to himself. I had a small group of friends that we played a lot of Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that, and I had access to the Sci-Fi Channel when it was real sci-fi, and they actually spelled it properly. Yeah. And living outside of town really didn't help that. So there were books, and you started reading books, and you started putting two and two together and thinking, hey, this is kind of cool. Maybe I should try this. And didn't really actually get up the gumption to try it, even though I was reading about it in high school until I was in university. And when I hit university, I hit the psychology section of the library, and I probably spent more time in that section than I did in any other section, history, education, you name it. It was there was always a draw to that. So, I read a lot of stuff before I even did anything, and then we had some friends over. One of them became a cat, and after that, everybody was convinced I was magic. So,
yeah, there's no better feeling that first time. I think the first time you experience hypnosis for real, and you're like, "Oh shit, that was weird," and the first time you actually hypnotize someone, they've got to be the best feelings in the world.
oh yeah. Yeah. It shocked my roommate. He was a non-believer up to that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was interesting, and actually that expanded my friend group in the second year of university, because that's when all these other people started. It was a kind of a turning point. And had the education thing not worked out, and that's a different story. That's a story for over a beer or a beverage of some sort. But had that not worked out, I definitely would have started doing this a long time ago.
It's a weird one, because a lot of us, when we get into hypnosis, and I know I did it for years, you kind of learn it, you start to do your thing, and then you're in your own lane for years, just kind of proving yourself or doing your own thing. But then us as a group, effectively as well. Yeah. And again, we all have a common denominator, which is Jim. Jim's book's just there, by the way. A common denominator being Jim. But we're all now in a space where we're giving back to the hypnosis community. So, Dan, you decided in a moment of madness to organise a hypnosis conference. Tell us a little bit about
that. Yeah. So, what happened? It wasn't me. It was Heather. So I think I had gone to Hypnothoughts, came back, and then got invited to go out to the UK Hypnosis Conference. And I scraped the money together to go out there. Just literally scraped. I was only out there like 2-3 days and flew back. And she said to me, "Why are you spending all this money to, make everyone else money at these conferences? Why isn't there a hypnosis conference in Michigan? Why don't we have one?" And I said, "Well, I don't think there is one in Michigan." And she said, No, you don't understand me. Why don't we have one? And I said, "Oh, so we're putting together a conference." And she said, "Yes." So that's how that really got started, was Heather just wanting to really go out there and do it. I can't hear you guys.
Grant was talking on TikTok.
I was talking on TikTok. Sorry about that. I didn't know if you could hear me or not, Dan. So I thought I'll mute myself here and then I'll talk on TikTok. But then you started talking really weird, and I'm like, I think Dan just thinks I'm just talking over him now. So could you hear me there?
No, it's fine. Yeah, I'm just like, okay, he's saying something. What's he doing? Is he yelling at me now? See, what happened was exactly what it is. So yeah, we put it together. First Michigan Hypnosis Conference, and that is exactly how I met Jim Kellner. And that, we were talking about moments in hypnosis. That's, as we said at the remembering, that was the moment that the trajectory of my career changed exponentially. So putting together that conference, as you know, Grant, is maddening. But at the same time, it's a work of joy.
Yeah, I would never understand why anyone would want to organise a conference. But to quote the most fitting quote for wanting to organise a stage hypnosis or to organise any hypnosis conference, and I'll paraphrase here: if you don't know, or if you didn't know, now you know.
Exactly. You know now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
you could almost pair that up with a GI Joe saying, and knowing is half the battle.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
I think, and Dan, I think you're very similar to me in some senses. Of it's a case of, do you know what? Let's do it, because you're going to learn so much more by doing than what you will by waiting until you're ready and then doing whatever. I was at that first conference, and it was amazing.
Oh, thanks.
And we joke about the beef and beef dinner, but if that's the only, it's not even a criticism, but if that's the only thing that someone can point out about, I mean, if you're a vegetarian, maybe it wasn't great. But the connections of the people, like literally, I made friends at that conference of people that I still class as friends now, and that's what conferences are about. That's what the world of hypnosis is about. We can all be online doing our stuff, but when we actually get together in person, that's where the magic happens.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know that. I've actually was. I mean, you'll meet people and you'll start helping them, and I'm of the, if I can help you, I will. You don't have to do anything. Don't. So I was able to help the lovely Barb out there at the Canadian Hypnosis Conference, and I wish I could have done more for her. But I was so happy to see that conference come back.
Yeah.
And I am super excited. And I know I keep saying this because I get to leave Michigan. I get to come to Vegas. And there are two things I'm excited about. One, I want to sit in on the presentation that there's a finance guy that you guys have out there. I want to sit in on that presentation. Two, I want to go to
Sorry, go on.
M&M store. Oh, no, I was just going to say the other thing is I want to go to the M&M store.
Well, we'll add that to the schedule. I tell you what I'm really excited about, and this is one of the things I love about Vegas, because Vegas is about experiences. It's the new driverless taxis.
Yes, actually, my sister sent me an ad for those and said, "Hey, you should try these out." And I'm thinking to myself, does that look safe?
Well, the driverless taxis, and at the moment, I believe they are free.
They are, yep.
So that is really cool. And I just think, yeah, I mean, I can't wait to experience that. And so, yeah, I think that'll be really cool. But that's what Vegas is about. Yeah. It's those experiences as well.
See, now I want to do it just to watch Heather get into the driverless taxi.
You guys realize the reason that it's free? It's like free software. It's a beta test.
Yeah.
Hence back to my question: does that look safe?
It's not whether it's safe. And you know what my concern is going to be? Is it going to be hygienic? Because I know what people are like in my hometown in the back of a taxi. You put them in Vegas in the back of a taxi, that's going to be something else. But you put them in Vegas in the back of a taxi that doesn't have a driver, I think I'm wanting to blue light that thing before I get in it.
Yeah. Now that you mention it, yeah, I was just thinking about it. I was like, oh man, what is that on the floor?
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, but again,
my other question
Vegas is all about experiences.
Do they actually get to the airport? Because I know that's a fairly busy stretch of road. I don't know that they're cleared for that just yet. However, instead of walking to the Denny's across the street, you could be calling one of them and getting a ride across the street, which is probably safer for crossing the street. But
is the Denny's across the street still open? Because
as far as I know, it is.
Yeah.
If it's not,
all right.
If it's not, we're all going to have trouble getting breakfast.
I'll tell you, it'll be interesting to see what's replaced TGI Fridays in the casino in the Gold Coast.
Yeah, that will be, because I mean that was one of the go-to things was right there. Yeah. But what was I talking about this morning? The one thing I would like to say. So I didn't.
Are
Brian
those
Bay.
made by
What a guy.
Reebok, Brian? Or are they Nikes?
Oh, Brian Bay. Oh, that's our buddy.
I'm going to get a T-shirt that says that, actually, that just says, "Oh, Brian Bay."
Like all three of us, just like, oh, Brian Bay.
Yeah. You know what it is? We need to have like fingers pointing, and just it was Brian.
It was Brian.
Stand around Brian.
Yeah, it was Brian. So I am. One of the things we talked about jumping in full feet is where I'm not a waiter. I don't wait. So I don't know if I did a good thing or a bad thing. I'll let you guys decide down the road. So a lot of people kept asking me about the Michigan Hypnotherapy Guild. Can I join it? Can I join it? Can I join it? And I said, well, no, it's not that kind of guild. So eventually I just thought to myself, well, now it's going to be that kind of guild. So I changed it from that to the North American Hypnotherapy Guild. And I have been branding that out. So, and I just jumped in, and I have no idea if that's right or wrong. But at the same time, I think if we're not growing the field of hypnosis, we're not helping it.
Yeah. And
Sounds like a thing on
I think now is the time when people are actually learning to, whether it's because social media is what it is, whether it's because, TikTok and Facebook and all of these things are the way that they are now. I think I'm so lucky. I think we're so lucky to be in an age of hypnosis where collaboration just now seems to be the absolute key thing. And so whereas 10 years ago, it was competition. People were shouting each other down online, and all of these things made the whole field of hypnosis look terrible. And I think it stumped creativity because people, rather than putting their stuff out there, were kind of hiding it because they thought other people were going to trample all over it. Now, I think we're in that age of people just want to build each other up, and that's what's making hypnosis more accessible. Because people are starting, creating new techniques and new tools for toolboxes, and other people, rather than pulling it apart, are going, "That's great, let's promote it," and then it grows and evolves from that. And I think that's where we're at the moment. And I feel very blessed to be in an industry like that now.
So, me too.
Me three.
Yeah. And again, there is only one hypnosis
What say you,
magazine.
Paul?
There's only one hypnosis magazine in the world at the moment. That's called Hypno World Magazine.
So, yeah, and we just put the I got to bring you guys your copies up there to Vegas. We put out the winter issue. And as many people know, this year's ambassador will be there at the conference as well, and I'm going to be doing a presentation of that to him. So, because it saves me money. No, I'll have to mail it.
Yeah, I love that. Rather than sending it in the post, you will fly to Vegas instead, so you can hand it to him. That's saving money. I like it.
I said, you gotta think about these things as a businessman.
It's multitasking.
Yes. But let me ask you, because we're talking about hypnosis and hypnotherapy and so on and so forth, and entrepreneurially, what I've been doing this year or just here recently is with the rising costs. I have been looking at places in my own business to cut the overhead so that I don't have to raise the subscription price on the magazine or cut the quality. So I've been trying to streamline that down, like here, I'll do this here, I'll move that here. And I think I've been able to cut about a little over $1,200, from the overhead. So, and I think that I hope that is happening industry wide so that we're not having that spiral of upward costs. And that's my thinking. I don't know what you guys are.
But that's as a business owner, and most hypnotherapists, coaches, and stage hypnotists have to look at themselves as being business owners. That's what you've got to do. You've got to look at, what are your overhead costs? What's your baseline that you start with? And by saving some money there without reducing value, if you can reduce your overhead, then that's money in the bank.
And the other thing you need to do is look at the value that you're providing, right? For example, one of the people that we interviewed recently on the podcast, I want to say in the last couple of months, is looking at the model that she's using and saying, you know what, it would be better if I did this, did this as a coaching piece, and then they had a 6-month stint with me, and we could really hammer home the results that they want. And I'm looking at that saying, how would I do that given the fact that I'm still technically part-time, at least for the next 365 and few days. How would I work that in that I could work with people for an extended period of time that would provide them value that wouldn't cost much more than what I would charge them for the individual sessions that they would normally take, and they would get better value out of it, which means I get a better recommendation, which means I get, there's still that snowball effect of, if we change one thing, what else changes and improves?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Well, it's been a good chat, this, guys.
Yeah, I think so. I'm happy to be here. I think this is the first time I've ever been able to be involved in a Hypnosis World Day video. I've always been working. It's like, well, I can't do it. I'm going to be in the back of a fire truck, but I don't do that anymore.
Well, I'll call this now. I'll call this now. But me and Jim had planned a World Hypnosis Day stream last year, of which obviously we didn't do for obvious reasons. That would have been impressive if we'd have done that. And it was only through a memory that came up that reminded me of it. But I'll call it now for next year. I want to do a World Hypnotism Day stream, but let's get hypnotists from around the world, where if everyone has a 40-minute spot, we can go around the globe in that 24 hours. So starting at that first kind of hour and then go all the way through. So we run a stream for 24 hours with hypnotists from around the world that each want to do their own little bit. And then let's stick some kind of charity on there as well, that if people want to donate or anything going through the stream or whatever, then we can attach that to some charity that we all think is a good thing, So so we'll call that now, and then let's get that thing for next year. Otherwise, it would just be I do the first hour, Dan does the next 3 hours, Sean does the next 3 hours, and then that leaves about 18 hours for Brian, which is just his introduction, I think.
Well, when you represent Brian, it's difficult to be late for all your appointments. You know what? I'm thinking actually the guy that probably could kick it off with us would be Jaden Boone down in Australia, because they technically I think get there ahead of all of us. Jeff Bennick would be Central Europe.
Yep.
I imagine we could probably even rope in like Ronnie Fraser, who's in Portugal. Then as we go through the UK and into Ireland and whatnot, we could get Alex and
Jason O'Callaghan.
Jason, there we go. I was thinking looking for first names. But you can get Alex and Jason, and then we can carry on to the east where Dan is. We can get Amanda because she's in the time zone between me and Dan, and then me, and we would need somebody. We would need somebody in that mountain time zone because there's another hour before we get to Brian in Pacific. So
I think Brenda Kay is in.
Actually, Scott King.
Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah.
And I think we could do it.
Well,
the question is with the
as we're
software.
just saying, let's just do it. You know, if it means that a couple of us have to do a couple of extra talks, then so be it. But let's just do it. I think it is a great thing, and it's one of those that a few years ago, me and Kaz Riley did something for it, and it's good. But if we can all get together and really push it, then I think it shares it out to more people. When we work individually, you know, we've only got so much of a reach. Not just us, I'm on about as hypnotists, but as a collective. You know, if we get 24 hypnotists on there pushing it, you know, it's a nice reach, is that? So as a collective, we can achieve so much.
The question would be, how could we do this? We would need to, because that's a Monday. I might have to take an extra half day off or something like that.
So.
Oh, well.
But by that time, so those 365 days are going to be almost up. You know, you're going to be like teetering on the abyss of retirement.
Yeah, well, 365 days and then decision time. Yeah. Technically, it's April the 1st. And I'm not joking about that.
If there's ever a sign, that is it.
So. Let me help you out with this one, Sean. I am like milliseconds away from my pension. The minute I am eligible to my pension, you will never see me climbing into the back of an ambulance again.
Well, unless it's on a stretcher.
Tell us how you really feel, Dan.
I would be lifted in, Grant. I would be lifted in. I wouldn't be climbing in. Because I will tell you this, man, right here, just client, you know, on the screen, working it. It's just, this is beautiful. There, people are yelling at me. I don't know. No. So, but that's all I got.
Cool. Right. Well, let me just pop up one more. I'll put this up here for the Michigan. Dan, why should people come to Michigan?
Well, there's going to be dinner. Probably beef. No. Why should people come to Michigan? Because it is an amazing conference with amazing people. I know there's this guy from UK that's going to try and make it. His name is Grant Saunders.
No such thing as try. I will be there come hell or high water.
Yeah. And you know what? I think one of these this year we have. Yeah. Joni Knighty is going to be our opening keynote. And she's going to be I'm really glad that she's doing that. And we were able to, get that to happen because this is someone that works in high level athletes and coaches. And, if you get asked as a coach to go, hey, can you help us here at the Paris Olympics, get our swimmers to win? That's, you know what I mean? That's just hypnosis at its finest right there.
And she's a genuinely nice person.
That she is. Yes.
I met her because obviously we both share the award from the first Michigan conference. And again, like I said, the importance of meeting someone, met her at Michigan and have been friends ever since. She's one of the genuinely good souls in this industry.
So, yeah. I will say the other thing about Michigan is our motto there, our mission statement is learn, share, grow. We're not looking to be the biggest conference, but we are looking to be the independent conference with a big impact. And that's what we want to have. And I met you, and now I get to come to Vegas. Yeah. And take it off my taxes. So it doesn't seem fair, but okay.
Speaking of Vegas, Sean, why should people come to Vegas?
Because they'll see Dan.
He's even come dressed in PHS colors as well.
Well, I'm looking at that saying, Dan's a dapper dude. Why come to Vegas? Three reasons, and very similar themes to what Dan had just said about Michigan. You will connect with people.
Mm.
You will learn from people, and you will make some lifelong friends at this conference.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And like Dan was saying as well, it's I think PHS is, we're a niche within a niche, and so it is very specialist. But that means that you're face to face with the people at the very top of the industry as well as newbies, and so it's a real melting pot. And every year we're hearing of people that the trajectory of their careers has dramatically changed on the back of that conference. So it's it's a special place, and it will be nice to go there this year and not spend half the time in tears. uh,
There might be a couple
I
here and
still
there.
think there'll be tears.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
The one thing I will say is this. Now that you brought it up, Grant, you asked about when I got into hypnosis. Well, the other thing that was able to sustain me were the very few websites that were out there, and I mean we're talking about the internet in like early 2000s. Jim Zellis had a website, and I got to meet Jim through Jim, because Jim was mentoring Jim at the time, and so I had an opportunity to actually say to Jim, "Thank you for doing all this work." And he said, "Well, it wasn't me; it was my wife right here." Thank you, because it was work like that. It was Salish who had some of his work in Ireland online. Yeah, Jim Zellis right there. I still remember that logo because that website was just absolutely stellar, in my opinion. Brian David Phillips had some information out there. There were a whole bunch of these websites that started cropping up, and it was like, okay, there is a world around this. There is some substance to this. It's not just a few guys that decided to strike out and go on their own. And as the internet developed, of course, then you add in Mark Savard's, Vegas experiences and so on and so forth. Wayne Lee had some of his stuff out there. And for me, that was a Canadian guy, actually not that far from me. You would know it, Edmonton. Been there a couple times. It's not the most wonderful highway to drive, but it is, it is a highway. Anyway, having access to that was one thing, but being able to start meeting some of the people that are behind this, and so you get to meet Jim Zellis, and you realize just how humble of a guy he is. And Salish, same thing. He's just very down to earth, and how can we help? And every year meeting more and more and more hypnotists that are in the same boat that I am, and maybe they're a few boat lengths ahead, or a few boat lengths behind. I can be that bridge for the people in between.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting in an online world, which is what we live in now.
Mm-hmm.
There is lots of people that do fake it, and they want to sell you a course, or they want to sell you a thing or a training or this, that, and other. When you meet people in person, especially when you spend that, when it's an intimate conference and you've got 3 days or 4 days or however long you're staying for together, you really get to meet the person or the people behind those trainings, the person or people behind the headlines, and in the groups that are very vocal. And you can't fake in person the same way you can fake online. So you really get to meet people as they are, and you kind of go, do you know what? My connection with you is so much deeper having spent that time with you. And I think, again, connections have been made where people have then gone on to mentor them to great success because you've met the right people at the right time and connected.
So, yeah, absolutely. So,
cool.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that's it for me. When's your next live stream, Dan? It's tomorrow, I think, isn't it?
No, I don't. When is the next one? I think we're coming back on the 12th.
Cool.
Yeah, we're coming back on the 12th. and we've got a new format and just some new stuff that we're doing. So hopefully it's better per se for everything that we got going on. But
Cool.
right now, just looking forward to getting to the summit. I mean, I can't say that enough.
I can't wait until the Monday when I can just go, now it's all Michigan.
All Michigan all the time.
All Michigan.
Just come around the corner, my eyes twitching.
Yeah, exactly. Sean, when's the next Hypnosis Hero?
So we actually have our first episode of Hypno News coming up on the 8th.
Yes.
And then Hypnosis Hero on the 13th. And let me make sure I got the rates. Yep, that's what it looks like to me. Second Tuesday, 13th. Yes, so that will be the great Claudia Ricard.
Oh, brilliant!
As our guest
actually
hero.
back in the UK at the moment. So she was not so far from me. So I spoke to Claudia the other day. But yeah, she's close by, but we've missed each other again. So yeah, it'll be a good one. That Claudia
it's amazing how that happens.
Yes.
Yeah. You were here for what, 3.5 weeks?
Yeah.
We crossed paths twice.
Yes. Yeah. But your country is so big, Sean.
Well, there are some big things about Canadians, yes.
On that note, cool, guys. Thank you for joining us, and happy World Hypnotism Day, wherever you are in the world and however long you've got left on that. But for me, it's good night.
Yep. Take care. Stay well. Be awesome.